Hey guys, today we are at Buyers Porsche in Columbus, Ohio. We have the keys to this 2019 Porsche Panamera GTS. So what exactly is the Panamera GTS? The GTS trim on all different models in Porsche's lineup pretty much just means it's the sportiest iteration. You usually get blacked out trim and everything, larger wheels, a little bit more power. A lot of the performance packages and some options become standard. On the GTS itself, this is the brand new Generation 1. And the biggest news is it gets a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8. First things first, let's talk about power. We'll pop the hood, show you guys the engine. It's actually the same 4-liter that you get in a Panamera Turbo or Turbo SE hybrid, but detuned, running a little bit less boost. We got the 4.0 V8. It makes 453 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque. The fact that it gets a V8 is very important because unless you're spending money on a Turbo or Turbo SE hybrid, you can't get a V8 in a Panamera. The S, 4S, lower tier models all have a turbocharged V6 now. So now this engine is the same, supposedly, as the one in the Turbo. It's detuned with a little less boost, so less power. 0 to 60 is claimed to happen in 3.9 seconds for the GTS, which is quite impressive for a large, heavy 4,700 pound sedan. That all-wheel drive, that power, and also Porsche usually pretty conservative with their 0 to 60 claims. So there's a real chance that in the real world, this thing is actually even faster. Let's talk about the exterior styling. Every generation of the Panamera has gotten better and better looking. I'll admit the first generation one was not a huge fan of the way that thing looked. I think this one looks pretty sharp. Got the kind of signature Porsche 4-point daytime running lights. The whole front end shape is really looking similar. There's a new Macan back there. You can see the family resemblance. On this GTS model, it's got large upgraded 21-inch wheels. This one does not have carbon ceramic brakes, so you see the red calipers behind there. Still pretty large brakes on this thing. Huge 21-inch wheels with, I believe, 275 front tires and 315s around back. This is the regular Panamera model. You see just kind of the slopes in the back right there. You can get a Sport Turismo, which is the wagon version of that, which I love the way they look. It has this 2-stage wing, kind of like the turbos, that deploys out and it can fold all the way back in. Really wide here. It's really fun watching it go in and out. Also, Panamera, all the Porsches have gone to this entire kind of light bar across the back. Like I said earlier, GTS model, all the badges are blacked out. Quad exhaust tip, you have sport exhaust in here. Let's get on the inside and show you guys the interior of this car. In the middle, you still kind of get that signature Porsche 5-ring setup with an analog tachometer in the middle with digital screens flanking on either side. They're configurable in various ways. You can see got a G-force meter there on the right. Your speedometer is on the left, speed limit sign. It's a lot of customization is available now. Porsche steering wheel is the same as was in the Turbo. You've got this push to pass over boost button down there, which is pretty cool. The paddle shifters feel really nice. They're mounted onto the steering wheel, all machine metal. I love the way Porsche steering wheel paddles really feel. This has the upgraded leather steering wheel. We'll take a look at the window sticker. The base price of the GTS, so one of the main appeals of the GTS is almost the value, because you get a lot of stuff as standard, little things thrown in that you can't even option on a normal one, and it usually doesn't cost as much. It splits the middle between like a 4S and a Turbo. This car is 150,000 MSRP. Base price is 128, so it's got almost 20 grand in options on it. It doesn't have some of the really crazy ones like the chassis dynamic control with torque vectoring. It doesn't have carpet ceramic brakes, but it does have your premium package for your Bose surround system, comfort access, soft closed doors, lane change assist, lane keep assist. It's got, what else do we have? We have the adaptive cruise control. Yep, that's a little bit expensive. So this one doesn't seem to be optioned fully in terms of all-out performance. It's still quite nice. Just because it's a GTS, you have a lot of things as standard. Personally, the Panamera GTS really appeals to me. If I could afford a Panamera Turbo or Turbo SE Hybrid, yes, I'd love one. The Turbo SE Hybrid is a monster. It is insanely fast and comfortable and filled with tech, but it's also very, very expensive. The one I drove was optioned to almost $230,000. The other one in the showroom right now is $203,000. That is a huge price increase over this car as equipped at $150,000. Now, the other things you really get in the GTS are going to be the V8 engine, obviously, which I personally think is a great step up from a 6-cylinder as you would find in a 4S or lower tier models. You get a lot of stuff as standard. It looks a little more aggressive and mean with the blacked out badges. The GTS, as with a lot of other Porsches, is almost always going to be the best value you could get to both combine value and aggressiveness, sportiness, performance. Whether you're looking at a 911 GTS, a Cayenne GTS, or a Panamera GTS, it's always a really, really compelling model to look at. So now that I've been sitting here playing with this car for a little bit, I'm going to show you some details before we end the video that you might not know about it. So it has this 20-second overboost function. This toggle here is what allows you to change different modes. So we're in normal, we can go to Sport Plus, but if you click the button right in the middle, you get this Sport response with a 20-second overboost function. You can kind of see it counting down right there. So it's kind of like a push-to-pass type of overboost function that the Panamera has. I think that's pretty dang cool. If you've been in a Porsche or driven one, you'll be familiar with this. The way to turn the car on is actually on the left. You don't need to put the actual key into the dash anymore, but the ignition is not on the right. There's no button there. You take this, turn it once over, and that turns everything on. I'm not going to turn the car on because we're in the showroom. Also, the headlight controls and kind of LEDs are all here. They're buttons. There's no like toggle or anything, actual buttons that you click. Also worth noting, as you can see, it's got these GTS decals and like kind of a satin black vinyl on the side. You can see my reflection in the gloss black car. Really subtle touch on the GTS model on the side. If you step away, it's kind of almost hard to see it right there. So there we go. That's the 2019 Porsche Panamera GTS. Honestly, I think this is the one to buy. Unless you have insane amount of money and you can afford a Turbo SE hybrid, the GTS is really, really appealing. You get the turbocharged V8 from the Turbo. You get a lot of stuff as standard. It looks a little more aggressive with the blacked out badges. Sporty, you can option every sort of technology and luxury feature you want and learn all the crazy Porsche acronyms from PVCC to PCB and everything. The Panamera GTS is quite an appealing vehicle. Special thanks again to Buyers Porsche in Columbus. They have this GTS for sale here in their dealership. They've always had some pretty cool cars down here. Buyers Columbus. Hope you guys like this quick little walk around showing you guys the details in the interior exterior talking about the Panamera GTS. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks for watching.